Hey you guys, so welcome back to Evie's Acres. This is Evie. Today I want to show you what I am doing as part of my Make It March series. I haven't officially named it that, but I just kind of came up with it in a recent newsletter and kind of forgot to add it to the last video. In any case, I mentioned in a recent video that we plan to add new chicks to our flock, some of which will be meat birds, some will be more layers, just of a different variety. Sorry, I'm peeking around the corner here because I hear Nala outside, but I don't see her. Anyway, so we're going to be adding several new chicks to our flock at the end of March and the beginning of April. In preparation for that, I needed to create an updated brooder because the one that we had previously basically has been left out in the elements and is just not really usable at this time. I will probably take that one apart and reuse some of that wood at a later date. But for now, what I plan to do is to repurpose what was intended to be an elevated raised bed, but I never actually finished. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because I think it's going to turn out to be a better option for our brooder needs than for the raised bed. The way that I constructed it, which I'll show you in a second, it wasn't very sturdy and it kept blowing over in the wind. And as I've mentioned in other videos, here in our area of Northeast Tennessee, we get a lot of wind. It needs to be sturdier. I have plans to create a couple of elevated raised beds in future videos. For now, what I'm going to do is take what we originally started with, which was made out of cedar, these cedar fence pickets, and some just 2x4s, regular pine 2x4s. As I said before, I think that this would be a great opportunity to repurpose this wood to create a new chicken brooder. And not only a new chicken brooder, but one that can actually be expandable. I really am a big fan of having tools and equipment and structures. Oh, there's Nala. Of having things that can be repurposed or have multiple uses. And so my goal with this is to create a 2-compartment chick brooder with the intention of having our meat birds in there first because they're arriving at the end of March. And then within 3 weeks, those guys will be outside. So they won't be in there very long. But the following week, we have, I think, 20 layer chicks coming. So those will be on the other half of this. And by the time those meat birds are ready to put out on grass for good, then it'll be a perfect time to go ahead and open it up and expand it for a couple weeks for the layer hens because they're just going to grow so much slower. They're going to need more time indoors for them to have the full 6-foot length of the space. So I will bring you along for this process and we'll see how far we can get today. some scrap wood. Hey you guys, I was actually in the middle of editing this video when I realized that I forgot to record myself actually explaining what the plan is for this brooder. So I'm gonna flip the camera over right now and record that for you so that I can add it into this video and you'll find out what that's all about. There will be a part 2 to this video because it's not complete, and you'll see that when I flip the camera over. But the plan is over this weekend to make those updates, and hopefully it'll be done. I don't think I have that many more steps to complete, so it should be in good shape by then. Okay, all right, here we go. I have a little waterer here in the middle. This is just for scale, just so you can get an idea of how much space they'll have between what will be the bottom and the top of this brooder. So my plan is to line the entire bottom of this brooder with hardware cloth. Below, I will place drawers. That 2x4 that I put down below in the middle of this table is going to be the place where 2 long drawers are going to meet below. So this will be the end of one drawer that'll go out that way, and another drawer on this end to go out that way. Those will be clean out drawers that I'm going to create out of 1x3s, making it easier to just pull it out and pour into our compost pile whenever that gets piled up. So we have a couple of these radiant heat lamps, which are typically used in reptile cages. The top of this brooder will be strong enough to hold up a couple of these heat lamps, one on each end. My goal is for there to also be a wall, a removable wall that will sit right here in the middle. As I mentioned earlier, the goal is for this to be sort of a convertible structure. So when we have our meat birds in here initially for about a week by themselves, they'll be fine just staying on one half. The other half will have the 20 layer chicks in here. And then at about the 3rd week, the meat birds will be so big that it wouldn't be suitable to keep them in here. So at that point, they'll be moved outside into a mobile chicken tractor. And that way I can remove the wall that will be placed here in the middle to allow the other chicks to enjoy the entire space until they're ready to be moved outdoors. It'll take at least 2 to 3 more weeks before they'll be ready to go outside because, again, they're not going to grow as fast as the meat birds. So that's the general plan for this brooder. And like I said, I will keep you posted in next week's video. Hopefully, if all goes well, this should be completed by next week's video. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As you can see with a quick look around our garage, there's a lot of work still to be done. Quite a bit of construction is in progress. So we'll continue to share that with you in future videos. And I hope that you'll take the moment to subscribe if you haven't already, as well as sign up for our newsletter. I would love to be able to continue sharing with you some of the behind the scenes things that are going on here on Evie's Acres. That's the best way to find out what's going on. Thank you again so much for watching, and until next time.